Hello, is this thing on? Hi there, especially to those who end up stumbling in this VOD. Welcome to just a random Dawncaster stream. I don't usually commentate in my streams, in my Dawncaster streams. But I decided to do a little bit of commentating just because I am quite frustrated today and I am in the mood for a little rant. So let me adjust my settings first. Oh my god. Hello? 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 Okay. So turning on the phantom power gave my microphone a much needed audibility boost, if that's the right word. Hello? Okay. So here's the rant. I have been in the past couple of weeks. I think it is already weeks at this point where I am trying to improve upon my setup so that streaming would be a much more automatic kind of process and I wouldn't have to be fidgeting around with my topics. I mean, not my topics, my settings. And I've gotten most of it right. Except the the sharp hiss that comes with recording audio. I think the right term for this is sibilance. Yeah, like that's when you pronounce S. And one of the supposed solutions I've had, because I cannot really upgrade myself out of my cheap ass sound card and microphone, is to buy acoustic foam so that I can minimize the pickup of, say, static environment static in particular, because if I don't enable the filter in OBS, the mic would tend to pick up a lot of the sharp static. And also, as much as my microphone is flawed, it is a lot better than whatever former setup I can come up with. Where was I again? Yeah, I've been trying to fix my general quality of audio and decided to invest in acoustic foam. However, the acoustic foam, when it arrived, it was okay. It was sort of the cheap kind of acoustic foam, and I should have thought better than to buy that goddamn acoustic foam. So I've spent an hour and a half of my morning patching my wall with the acoustic foam, and it only covered like a portion of the wall, which is fine by me as an initial investment. But that investment went down the drain when the foam could not even attach itself to the double-sided tape. And even when I added more double-sided tape, it was just pointless. Like, the tape did stick into the wall, but not only did the acoustic foam did not attached to the tape, it also leaves some sort of residue that you cannot really jam and hammer the acoustic foam into the tape. So instead of having a portion of my room slash studio be foamed, I ended up having a wall dirtied with various double-sided tape, which really sucked. And another thing, these past few days, I've been trying to patch this sort of leak in my faucet. Like, it used to be okay. My old patch of the faucet, which I was responsible for attaching, it lasted a long time. And all of a sudden, it ended up having these tiny leaks, like within the silicone tape, and as well as in corners that I wouldn't expect it to leak. And that's the more curious thing about it. And yesterday, I successfully replaced the faucet in my bathroom. And not just that, I've improved the faucet into a faucet bidet combo, and it is stainless steel. A major improvement in any way. However, when I attach it to the wall, the thread that you screw in to the socket in the wall did fit, and it fits sufficiently with that socket. However, the amount of tape I placed there was not enough to prevent leaks. It did improve upon the leak situation, but I cannot just remove the faucet from that socket because it was really fit, but it is not fit enough for it to not leak. And frustrated, my temporary patch was some putty, like elastoceel or rubber seal. But the thing about rubber seal is that it is very sticky and it doesn't dry quickly, and it does sometimes, and actually often, it does not stick into that patch that warrants being patched. Especially if you needed a thin enough seal so that you can do multiple applications. adjusting that patch is really difficult and is frustrating because you think that you patched the leak, but you ended up removing your former application in the process. And that's what is distracting me greatly. Like, I think later this afternoon, I am just going to turn off my water line once again so that I can do a second application. And this would probably be something that would occupy my afternoons. Probably up to next week or until there is no longer a leak. I can at least be reassured that I could fix this. And I could fix this with multiple applications. The sad thing is that it will take multiple applications and it will take multiple trial and errors. One of those trials just so happen would be me possibly being so frustrated with my faucet that I remove it again, add another, or redo the silicone tape, reattach it, turn the water line on, and then cycle through that process while at the same time living in a country that is so fucking humid in the fucking summer that I would be just so uncomfortable the entire process I am doing it. Phew. For someone like me who barely talks to anyone for most days, I don't really have a problem with it despite its potential consequences. That rant felt me. And I hope I can bring this into gaming once I actually fix my fucking schedule and my fucking productivity and my fucking pipeline instead of doing Dawncaster. But here we are procrastinating and doing Dawncaster. That's probably be enough of the rant. And depending on my mood, I would either commentate through the entire run or probably shut up. As a challenge, I might. I'm not going to read the text on the cards and the dialogue and the decorative text. So it's up for you to catch up. Apologies about that. I've played this game way too many times that I couldn't really commentate enough on the text and the experience itself. It's a grind, but it is for me a very satisfying grind. Where was I? Yeah. I might commentate on this, I might not commentate on this, depending on my mood. But if you enjoy that, and if you stumbled upon this VOD and enjoyed me just ranting off and doing this shit, then like, comment off, and subscribe, I guess. Your choice. So apparently Dawncaster has a new update. This is the first time I've been notified of this update, especially on the PC. I re-downloaded Dawncaster on my phone again just cause. And why not read it with me if you want to be updated as well. So here we are announcing the Nexus of Nightmares. What could it be? Ooh, 6 expansion. So exciting. He'll wonder, it's been a while, but we're back with another big one. Today we're thrilled to reveal the next chapter in the Dawncaster saga, Nexus of Nightmares. Our sixth expansion takes you to the dark realm between sleep and waking, where an ancient presence wakes from a long, deep slumber, an event causing the fragile veil between dreams and reality to blur. Nexus of Nightmares returns us to the regular DLC format. 3 new areas to explore, each with their own atmosphere, inhabitants, and secrets. Oh, new stages. Damn, that's nice. New options to change your run rather than the Infernal Invasions modifier, by the way. To balance things out, you may also find aid from a new face to join the ranks of possible allies to fight the evils of Athos alongside you. Nexus of Nightmares will be available as a $5.99 expansion, 99 cents expansion on iOS, Android, and Steam in July 2026. Synthesis Miniset. As always, the expansion launches side by side with a free mini expansion consisting of 64 brand new cards available to everyone for free. These cards extend the archetypes introduced in Synthesis and offer new interactions and new ways to break the game. We'll start unveiling more details and cards in the weeks leading up to launch, so keep an eye on the Dawncaster Discord. Thank you so much for sticking with us on this journey. Dawncaster is what it is today because of you, and we can't wait to show you what's been keeping us up at night. Until then, sweet dreams. Damn, my mouth is so tired. I am really not accustomed to just speaking in general. But doing this, I need the exercise being, this. I've never been able to build a deck that is enough to kill Valor. I've found some decks that will allow you to do this. In particular, I did try to do the legendary type deck build, which is easy to execute on my favorite malignancy, Boundless Spoils, but it is difficult to find the legendary card that does enough damage and has enough coverage to inflict a slain status via via charm, because that is what that card was. Another thing that I think you can do to do this is via the banner set. The banner set is kind of challenging because all of the banners are legendary and they are costly. So I've managed to only get 3 so far. And sad thing is I've only managed to get those 3 when I already have the card conditions to do a 1 turn destruction. That being what is in the previous stream, the Chain Lightning plus Arcane Weaver kind of combo. Maybe we'll get to figure that out today? Probably not. But given that I find it fun to collect legendary cards just cause, we might be able to figure that out. Probably not, but it's a nice thing to think about. So I'd like to show you what I've unlocked so far. Unlocking these cards is really easier in Boundless Spoils. Really, Boundless Spoils is some sort of like easy mode. An easy modifier if you know what you're doing. In exchange for making it difficult to have a survival set. Maybe not. But yeah, it can be difficult depending on your starting stage to have a good surviving deck. So where was that card? I'd like to show you how really difficult it is to achieve the so-called conditions of the very challenging kind of legendary. I think it is intended to synergize with the untempered divine warrior archetype, which, look at this. This is Molten Fury. Those temporary untempered cards are mostly legendary cards. And there are a lot of these cards. So I think that is the key to it. But in Boundless Spoils, you might be able to find an alternative build. So look, Sun God Armory. The difficult thing about legendary cards, as I've said before, is that they tend to just be a complement to a solid, reliable, regular deck, and thus have weird conditions that make it really difficult to bring together, like this Aura of Resolve. And you also have the 4 banners, which could be a potential source of cards for that legendary enchantment. Ellesmere, Kaylee's, Redan, Valen. I've never been able to get Ellesmere, and I think I don't plan to often, because Zeal is a tough card to work around with, especially in the old times of Dawncaster. Recently, there are like cards in the Divine Warrior archetype that would allow you to take advantage of zeal simply because it grants you the ability to resurrect. Look at this, there's also coronation. Which is also a legendary card. So probably for this run, we could try and gamble towards a pure legendary set, using our Chain Lightning set as a starting point. Here, you have also Unite, which is an alternative to that kind of card that I am looking for right now. Here, gain 4 rally if you control all 4 banners. Slay your foe. An auto kill card. I've never been able to execute that. Apparently, I also unlock Asteran, but I don't remember this. This is a fairly new card. Here, this is an enchantment, and wow, there's a sound to it. Apologies about that. I can't stop drinking soda. The first legendary you draw each turn is free. After playing 10 different legendary cards, inflict charm 1 over your foe's maximum heart. So it's pretty much an auto death. It's either you have your Unite card or you imbue Majestic Grandeur and just go ham to it. The question is, how early will you be able to achieve this condition? There is a trick to it which I've discovered in my runs, is that you pretty much have to rely less on the rewards and more on the transmutes, which, even though it's random, it's not as random or luck based as rewards. So if you know what kind of cards a certain card transmutes to, that will be your greatest advantage with any run. So here we have Philosopher's Stone, Ring of Power, and etc. That's pretty much what I'm looking for this discussion. So yeah, I think that is the archetype that I want to discover next, even though we are playing and spamming Arcanist in our current runs. Again, there's no guarantee that we will be able to achieve the card that we are aspiring to or aspiring for. But I want to try nonetheless. So we will go with gilded stuff this time. And I think default weapon would be the best one because we need to have access to holy cards. I hope I am doing this right. And hopefully I need to be able to have divine as part, like the divine energy as part of my energy per turn. Elite prayer is either that or flaming weapon. Let's do devout weapon. We can gain fire immunity in other ways. So we can either gain renew or we can do a him build. But I think in this case, because we are pretty much chasing chain lightning, and chain lightning, because we are also chasing in turn the ultimate legendary deck, and we know what kind of cards this converts to. We can use this for the transmute. I hope I am doing the right thing. I feel like I'm being crippled by saying having a really expensive card as a starter. But no matter. This is a normal run. So the difficulty is pretty much dependent on how dumb I am with my choices. And I am pretty much dumb. And dumb as in greedy. And I just want to take the interesting cards in my disposal. So yeah, let's get started. At least we started on the simplest sort of stage. I prefer to call it stage rather than canto. Canto is just weird. You'd use it in terms of story, I think, at least. But I've never been invested in the story. Maybe the expansions, the DLC, they have better story. The core story is really meh. I don't enjoy it. They have improved though. It's just so happened sadly that the better story, which is in the DLC, also happens to be more difficult in terms of gameplay and conditions. So eh. So yeah, let's head into the woods. Again, I'm not going to read the flavor text or the card text. Just follow along. What are my talents? LED prayer. You know what? Let's figure that. This requires a fucking firecast, and it is fucking unique. What the hell? I gotta think about this. I also have a prayer and fucking firecast. Do I need fireballs? I don't want fireballs. Fireballs are too expensive. I hate it. I also don't have a hymn. I probably need a hymn if I am going to go with gilded stuff. Eh, we'll figure it out as we go along. Spell snap is useless at this point because we don't have any magic action in our deck. But the point of spell snap is our reliable legendary offense weapon. If in case we have to trim down gilded stuff. Eh, here it is. I've activated Boundless Spoils, right? Yes. Damage during your turn. Gain zeal and a random blessing. The problem with this again is that the during your turn is a different stage than start of turn and end of turn. That is critical. That's another thing I found out in Dawncaster. Start of turn, during your turn, and end of your turn are three different stages. And there are afflictions and blessings that are impacted by those stages. We'll take it all the same because we are hoping to get majestic grandeur somewhere along the run. Either that or a banner set. Opportunity. Put a heart on the sigil. Damn this. I think we'll give that to prayer. I was hoping Firecast. Yes, yes. Compassionate. I think this is poison, but we will take it. Weirdly enough, poison would be highly valuable. To achieve aura of resolve. Things are coming together. I like it. We have a divine card, a intellect card, a strength card. We only need a green surge and or one of those energy converter cards, and a part of the puzzle has been successfully achieved. I hope I can get one of those rally cards early on. Sorry, I don't have magic cards. 1, 2, 3. draw cards equal to the highest numbers of copies of a card you pay in this turn. I think I'd rather transmute this. I hope the transmute potential is decent. Yes, so another problem with building this deck is that depending on the time and the opportunities available to you, you'd end up with a lot of dead draws on your deck while you are waiting for a transmute opportunity. I'm hoping that a him card appears or that I can transmute a card into a possible him. Clarity would be strategic. The only con about this is it has energy. You'd want this to be offered to a shrine of levity. However, Arcane Coil would be a nice emergency card. I think I'll go with Arcane Coil first because I need an alternative damage inflicting card. Let's see. Let's do Taskbar. Aura of the Soul, Focus. Do I need Spell Snap or Gilded Staff? Let's try Spell Snap first. And hopefully we can get that enchantment, lightning enchantment. Next draw. Yes. I wish you can self-inflict poison. Either that or you'd need to have like corrupt cards or cards that use health as energy so that you can establish Aura of Resolve. First, we will trigger Spell Snap, then we'll gain Prayer, and then we'll do Gilded Staff. I haven't triggered start of turn, right? Yes! That is the condition I've been waiting for. Now we have 2 free lightning bolts per turn. 1, 2. Tada! Tada! This is going well. I love it. Let's cast this. 2. 1, 2, 3. Then do this 2 and do that. Second of all, you need to be able to do spell snap, then lightning bolt. The problem with my current setup is that I need at least 3 turns to execute my plans. And even then, it is still a bit conditional. Companion cards is nice, but I don't have a companion set. And I don't think we can transmute this into anything useful. I think for now, we will go with Grimoire of Thieves. Monster cards are surprisingly very, very useful. It allows you access to really OP and really cheap kind of conditions, especially some affliction and blessing counters. But sad to say, it is also a matter of luck. But it is fine. Let's remove a block to improve our draws. Do that, do that, do that. What? I didn't intend to cast that. What the hell? And I just ate my divine energy. Fuck. Lightning bolt and spell snap. This is a really good combo. I think I've misread my conditions, because these two are the ones that are duplicating my lightning bolts per turn and not gilded staff. So yeah, these cards would probably disappear in the course of our fucking turn. How about this? Yes! I didn't even need the extra two. Of course, we'll take fast recovery. Activate to conjure a surge or bury 3 cards. I'll use Ascend or Untempered Copy. Let's do Ascend. Deification. We can probably duplicate this. If we have too many cards and we duplicate this, we can probably ascend to 3 levels. The problem with the bird 3 cards is that, well, it is random. So you risk, unless your card, you are able to curse your cards right away. This is risky, but let's risk it. Although untempered would be nice too. However, oh, I should have gotten the untempered one so that just in case I have lightning bolt on my draw, I could have that as untempered rather than conjured. But let's see if we make the right choice. Probably not, but we'll never know. We'll know, though. Aura for soul, gain health, do bury, do clear, more thieves, obtain a monster card, inflict 2 days, do this one, and auto draw, but we don't have enough. I don't know. Oh my god, this woman has an interrupt card, so that it was pointless. At least we have fast recovery, so we can stomach a difficult round as long as we are alive. Yes. Damn. Do I even need to fucking... Do I even need to fucking... Oh my god. Do I even need to transmute Spell Snap combined with Arcane Coil? That seems a rather solid card. Let's game Doc. Yeah, we'll probably... Prestige is a really OP card. I love it. I don't have... Like, Prestige is sort of a more reliable version of that kind of talent where you can that talent that grants you a free version of a magic card every time you don't even need to. I don't need to. Like, yeah, the arcane mastery that grants you a free version of the card every time you get a card reward of that card. At least with prestige, you will get a free version, a temporary free version of a of all your cards in your deck. Yeah, we don't need deification right now. So yeah, lightning ball. Ta-da! Let's use Chronoman as a recovery coverage. Explore the area more because we need to heal and we need to prune down our gilded staff. Ideally, we want to get that talent. We have to prioritize that talent that will allow us to get a free version of this card or maybe retain one but add memorize and persistent to it. At least we can activate start of turn. Another possibility is that we will rely on potentially getting a seeker based or dragon based card. Seeker based card, a dragon based card, or a mantra based card that I think is also legendary, that also has this same kind of potential requirement. I think there is a dragon card that may allow that to happen. And it is legendary, but I forgot the name. Either way, probably will prune our basic attacks down to 1. And hopefully we'd have an alternative damage coverage for this. 1 or 2 gilded staffs would be enough, probably. Hopefully we can also have Chronoman, have unique be removed. Either that or we get a recovery heal. Let's remove our gilded. No, we'll prioritize first removing our block, then burn gilded staff, burn gilded staff, and yeah, we're stuck with 3, which definitely is decent. And have this. I hope I get adrenaline as a potential card reward. So what's again? Yes, we need to transmute transcendence. Transmute transcendence. Lodestone is a nice card to have in your deck. The problem with this is that you cannot play this. This is pretty much a dead draw. Oracle Pendant would also be useful, but is also either Aquatic Phalanx, Oracle's Pendant, or Toolsite Lodestone. Because even though it is expensive, we don't really need to play this. So let's get out. I don't have. We could have converted spell snap though, but it already has synergy with arcane coil. Am I an idiot? I probably am. But being able to have a legendary deck that you can use is more valuable right now than, I don't know, chain lightning. We can also derive chain lightning from other legendary arcanist decks, so it's not going to be a problem keeping spell snap. Spell snap would be prioritized though as our first imbue. Let's upgrade all my basics. Do I want to retain all my basics? I'll probably upgrade to side just in case. We find a offensive substitute. I guess so. Reminder to self, don't use offer of revision, no matter how tempting it is. Do I want to do this? I will get somewhat Scarlet Blessing regardless. This is a very difficult encounter, but let's have a challenge. I've already activated this. Let's challenge ourselves, especially while she is still very. I cannot achieve the conditions for gilded staff, but we can achieve the conditions for Aura of Resolve. We don't want inflict bleeding. We want terrifying snore. We will probably die this run, but I'm hoping I'll have some advantage in some capacity. Later. I'll do you later. Let's do this. It's irrelevant, but damn it. Yes! Oh my god, I thought I wouldn't be able to defeat her, but I somewhat knocked out. I think we already have that. Not again, really? We could do sample this too. Fuck. Next turn might hurt. You might as well. Fuck. No. Thank you. Fucking hell. See how... Shit. Good thing I have fast recovery. But I might die at next turn if I don't kill him. Please. Thank you. Forbidden food. All of these are useless. We can probably have Feast on Recovery for Feast on Misery for emergency recovery, but it's too weak. Please give me a yes. I have some strong doubts about if we are going to achieve what we intend to achieve. But we have our difficulty, our current difficulty to our advantage. Let's throw everything away. Damn it. I really wish I could duplicate prestige. Wow. It's either we do Master of Ceremony and we want to be able to get what Master of Ceremony, but we do not have a fucking hymn so far, and it is driving me insane. Figuratively speaking, we already have Benevolent. Let's skip that. If we don't get the ideal cards for, the ideal talent, we'll get Pious. Because virtues have impervious. You get a chance to cast impervious, which is really advantageous. Either that or Master of Ceremony. We can also do quick crafting. Want infusion? We cannot execute Master of Ceremony. I really wish we can get one. You could also get Eminence. Because Pious would be nice. But Wild Infusion would be still advantageous if it would assign either we remove all gilded staff or reserve one gilded staff for start of turn repetition. Pious or Wild Infusion? Wild Infusion. There it is. Repetitive barrier or repetitive fast forward. I think I'm concerned with lower cost, even though I think I haven't had a problem with the energy so far because our damage attacks are conjured. This would ruin the synergy with my enchants. But you know what? I'll skip. Fast forward would be advantageous though if we're going for a greedy deck. Stability. Which could use stability? None of this really. Is reliable, right? We want reliability for fast forward or damage. Well, because we'll retain one gilded staff at the very least, we'd want that to be reliable. Either that, yeah, I think that's the right choice. Or prestige. Inspect the shrine. Divine. Deification, we can't pull it off, but we might have advantage because it's divine, right? At least our gilded staffs are staves rather are powerful. There it is. We have 13 as potential damage. Because I hate you. Let's do this. We'll give you slow. It's not enough. Let's gain to haste this time. Or too slow. We have the advantage of aura of the soul. Fuck! There it is. Let's use haste instead. I feel like this is going to hurt. Haste. Give me haste. We have to cast tournament this time. Shit. That was the right gambit. We need haste. We need haste. We cast slow. We do that. We do this. We do that. We do that. Yes! We have no choice. We need fucking hymns. Although I didn't. Whatever. I don't want to think about. I don't want to think too much about the kind of talent that I receive. I also don't have recovery. What the fuck? Really now? Let's game. Show must go on just because. I don't have. I think she gets gives you a really powerful talent, but I want to know what happens with this. Yes, abyssal resistance. You're immune to dominated. Nice. Finally. Do we want a transmute right now? Eternal Mantle. Show must go on. The problem with this is that this is I already have a couple of enchants to run. I want to avoid having too many enchants. Let's see what we can get with a transmute. Well, spell thief would be nice. Yeah, spell thief would be nice. I need a recovery. Give me a circumstantial life drain while you have an affliction. You know what? Fuck it. I'll get retribution. Let's keep turning. Shit. Fuck it. Give me a damage card. Fuck. Yes. Don't I have any other healing cards? What the hell? Yes. My deck is at a fuck is at a state of disaster. I probably need to remove a fucking player. With the Zelos, we can pretty much remove beginning of the round. It's not start of turn. We might get cursed and do random effects to a card. Random enchantment, 2 barrier for every effect you're channeling. I don't channel cards. I might just get virtue, dexterity. I'll transmute by the light. Let's see if we can get this card from that. Let's do Hymn of Convention. Fine will defeat Fox once again. We can ignore Elite Prayer pretty much. You know what? Yes. Divine Focus is good. We pretty much have to start probing our deck. We can at least no longer rely on our talent. We can remove Elite Prayer. We can burn Prayer. You know what? Transmute Prayer. transmute this rather. Here we are. We can now start collecting our fucking banners. Do we want to forget? Let's forget. Help me forget prayer, because we already have. Let's see, what do we have? Divine focus. Let's hope we survive with a bloated deck. Huh. Okay. I haven't been thinking about shit. He needs fucking die. The fuck? Well, my deck is shit anyway.